Hey, everybody, late live stream? Absolutely, but had some topics that, in the interest of time, I need to present and explain my case and then build on it later. First of all, as you know, this happened yesterday. Not only did the Saints clobber, explain my case and then build on it later. First of all, as you know, this happened yesterday. Not only did the Saints clobber the Buccaneers, they beat them so bad that Joe Bucks fan, the blog, described it as the one of the top 3 worst losses in the history of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, right up there with the collapse in Washington, D.C. against the Washington football team, among others. I can go further back than that to like when the Buccaneers went like 0-14 and didn't win anything, okay? That's how bad the Buccaneers looked. Sunday night on Sunday Night Football. Supposed to be the marquee game, right? The Buccaneers had 35 yards of rushing. That was it. They rushed. They had what's reported to be the fewest number of rushes by a pro football team in NFL history. I think, 4? That's it. That's it. The rest of the time, Tom Brady threw 3 interceptions. He had 4 turnovers. Yeah, 4. Why? Well, they weren't really turnovers because he didn't get rid of all of them. They were turnovers in terms of fashion, but not in terms of result. He had 3 interceptions and 1 fumble. He recovered his fumble. It was awful. Essentially, the Buccaneers took the same game plan. For all practical purposes, they walked into the Superdome with to start the season, and they trotted out the same damn thing for Sunday Night Football, thinking, we're so big and bad, it don't matter now, even though statistically, compared with the previous season when Jameis Winston was the quarterback, they have thrown a shorter repertoire of passes overall. But something in their head said they wanted to change that and go back to this problem that got them into trouble to start the season. You know, where Tom Brady started being compared to Jameis Winston. Okay. So what happened? Fittingly, when the score became so wildly out of reach that it wasn't funny, guess what? The Saints brought in Jameis Winston. And here he is, right here, running the kind of pass play that he should have ran or should have been allowed to run a steady diet of when he was with the Buccaneers. Look, 3rd down and 7. Let's see if they have him call play action. And hey, he's throwing it. He completed a pass. 1st down. So he moved the chains. Go Jameis. Throwing short. How about that? Bucks had him throwing long, getting intercepted. Oh, man, this is finally the type of offense that I've always felt that Jameis Winston needed to be in. And here he's in it. And look, Drew Brees is looking, well, it's Jason Hill. They had the camera on Drew Brees, and he was kind of like really scrutinizing his play and everything else. I'm loving this.
I don't think he's scrutinizing. I think he's happy.
I think he's very happy. Not scrutinizing in a bad way, just like let me see how I can help him out. You know, it's our offense, right? But here he is. That's a handoff there. And they proceeded to run to finish the contest, and they had Jameis handoff, and then they ordered him to take a knee. Some people on social media who are just so institutionally racist, they have to find some little thing and blame Jameis for it, said that Jameis didn't know the down and distance and then took a knee and ran off. He was told to take a knee, turn the ball over, and then get off the field. That's precisely what he was told to do. He only did what he was told to do. What he did, though, is something that, look, as all of you know who regularly follow me, I'm a big Jameis Winston fan. But just a couple of things that he does, just a couple that really bother me, okay? One of those couple of things that he does that that really bothers me, and I'm not the only one when I say this, is this whole business of acting silly. And I guess he likes to do that to get people to talk about him or whatever. I don't know what's, in the idea or the in his thinking, or I have no idea what's on his mind or why he does it or anything. I just know that he does it. And I'm thinking, well, what's the point of all of this? Why are you doing this, Jameis? We're rooting for you, man. We're rooting for you, man. And it's just it just rags me. And this whole thing about eating a W, right? And I'm like, why are you eating a W? Don't do that. Why are you doing this? Do you have to do this? Is something that you have to do? Okay. What's the deal? All right. And I don't know why he does it. As you can tell, it gives me some, consternation, if you will. But he just consists on doing it. And it's one of these things where I think, okay, I think I know what it's about. But I think I know what it's about. I think, all right. And I think it's about wanting to say, hey, you know what? I'm black. Because I believe that if I had said, oh, hey, by the way, don't do that, they would have called me a boomer, right? And so you're just like a boomer. Don't be a boomer. And I am a boomer. I was born in 1962, August 4th, okay? But do I have to see him do that? It was, dancing around and acting this way that smacks of buffoonery. He's the quarterback. He's not supposed to be a defensive guy. He's supposed to be the leader. And I contend that the reason why Jameis does this is because, first of all, he's on the sidelines. They're not asking him to use that big brain of his. This is a man who turned down Stanford for Florida State. Okay? All right? Stanford, this is a man who turned down Stanford for Florida State. Okay? And the reason is he wanted to be closer to his roots in Bessemer, Alabama. In other words, he wanted to be Southern. All right? In other words, he wanted to maintain what he considers his blackness. And so he gave up intellectual growth, frankly, for the fear to maintain what he believes his blackness is. And I believe it has stunted to an extent his ability to achieve his true potential in the National Football League. Imagine if he went to Stanford. Do you know who his coach would have been? David Shaw, African American, super bright, great coach, would have learned a great deal about the passing game from him. Came into the NFL even better as a quarterback than he was coming into the NFL out of Florida State, where he was national champion. Okay? So, point I'm making is Jameis has this thing. Look, we all have a thing about our blackness, and we express it in different ways. I'm being honest with you, okay? That's a whole nother discussion. But it does apply to Jameis Winston in this instance. And what you saw out there, and I thought it wasn't something that's happening until I saw the actual clip of the locker room. And the whole thing with Drew Brees, I thought that was a meme, but it was actually on NBC. Okay, my whole point is the whole eating a W. It's silly. And so rather than look like a leader, or like, oh, this is the Jameis Winston who's arrived, he decided to show out. And so the headline became that rather than Jameis Winston completes pass, has QB rating better than Tom Brady against the team that got rid of him. That should have been the line. All right. But because of his behavior, he made the story about that rather than about his play on the field. And if Jameis wants to realize a big bucks contract, as I do and many others, he's got to change that. All right. Cam Newton did. Cam Newton, if you watch Monday Night Football tonight, I'm going to make a separate video about this. He came out, and when he scored, did he do the thing? No. He stood there. His teammates came up to him. He shook their hands. You know what that was a statement of? Okay, look, I'm a big fan of Cam being Cam, but I'm also a big fan of Cam being a Super Bowl champion. And what Cam did that told me he wanted it personally more than ever before, even when he was with the Carolina Panthers, was he got in there, he stood like a man. I scored, he was tired. And you know what he did? He shook their hands. They shook his hands. It was a beautiful thing. It was subtle. There were hugs, okay? A little too close considering it's coronavirus, but hey, it's football, the heat of battle, da-da-da-da. And they got off the field. The ultimate result is they won. And Cam talked about just the joy of winning and how it's nice to have your hard work rewarded. The victory Monday night that Cam and the New England Patriots produced could be described in 2 words: hard work. That's it. There were nothing, hey, look, Cam likes his flamboyant outfits. Great. I think he's a fashion statement. I think the man needs a modeling contract. Give him one. Fine. He ought to be out there endorsing suits. He really is, well, all what he wears. Looks great. Okay. Fantastic. All right. But Cam Newton, this Monday night, to me, grew as an NFL leader, not as a man. He's already a man, father, husband, but he grew as an NFL leader because he said, hey, look, I'm not going to make this score about me. I'm going to make it about us. He said that in one fell swoop. That was freaking huge. And to his credit, Jameis Winston doesn't do all that sort of thing in the end zone, right? But my point about Jameis is that Jameis is so smart that if he's given the opportunity to use it, that brain will be so busy that he won't be doing that. He'll be talking with the coaches. He won't have the time. He'll be before the cameras talking with people about what happened, talking with his coaches, debriefing, going over strategy. His mindset will be different because someone put him in charge. When he was in charge at Tampa, you didn't see all that stuff much. Early on, you did when he was a rookie. When Dirk Carter was putting him in situations, telling him what to do and not giving him freedom. And so he's getting on the sidelines and trying to get into fights with defensive people. Why? Because he wasn't being properly mentored. And that's even when Lovie Smith was there. They didn't give him the proper tools to come in and say, okay, do this and do this and do this, okay? All right? You can do that. So I just want to get that out of the way about the Bucs. Now, let me turn in fine fashion, if you will, to the other topic in my discussion, and that topic is strictly about the Raiders escaping the Chargers. The Raiders escaped the team that, on paper, beat them. Okay, the Chargers. This is one of these games where it's better to be lucky than good, and the Raiders find themselves in Las Vegas at 5-3. I'll tell you what I love about the Raiders. 2 words: running game. You know what I love about the running game in particular? I love that the Raiders put a hat on a hat. An example of what I like about the Raiders can be summed up in something the Chargers did that I didn't like. It was under the heading of bad football. All right. You know what that was? They tried a sweep. And get this. They have here's the quarterback, okay? Here is the center, guard here, tackle here, running back over here, all right? Right over here, okay? Here's the quarterback. Quarterback gets the handoff, running back takes the ball. Okay, now there's the tackle over here that's really ordinarily supposed to down block on the end, right? You know what? Over him. You know what it did? He did? He pulled out and let Cleveland Farrell come right in. Boom! Down him for loss. Remember that? So everybody, you're thinking, and I'm thinking, oh yeah, Raiders defense is back. Well, no, not really. Not really. It's because the tackle pulled. Was it the tackle's fault? No, it was the coach's fault. Tackles don't just pull out like that for nothing. They do it when they're told to. So either he went and pulled on the wrong play, which I don't believe, or more to what I do believe, the coaches drew it up for him to pull out, but didn't think about the idea that, hey, you know what, the defensive end is fast enough to where he's just going to shoot through and down the running back for a loss. That's why you put what's called a hat on a hat. What that means is when you have an offensive lineman, that person blocks the person over them. Some people call it zone blocking, all right? But that's what you do. That's what the Raiders do. They put a hat on a hat, and that's why their running game is effective. It's at the end of the day, it's simple. If you do it and with the right timing, the right formation, you don't need to double team. You can do a counter action. All right? But putting a hat on a hat in this day and age is still effective. The Raiders still understand that hat on a hat running wins. And so, yeah, they were lucky to win, as I said, but they were also put themselves in a position to win. It was the Chargers that had to sweat the comeback, and they just fell short. All right, shifting gears now back to the loss of Alex Trebek. And I think every time I think of him, I get sad. But he expected his passing and he lived on gracefully. And I say that because, I'm going to be honest with you. I have had today, breathing was just a little difficult. And I thought, what's going on? So I had cough medicine. Dayquil. If you have problems where you're with breathing, you think maybe you've got the virus or something like that, but you're not so sick that you're going to go to the hospital, drink Dayquil. Dayquil and Hall's menthol limptus will immediately get your breathing back to normal, and get a flu shot. Dayquil, it's like NyQuil, but Dayquil, okay? I highly recommend it if you feel like your breathing is getting a little stuck and you're thinking, oh my Lord, have I, gotten the virus and all that? Dayquil will get you back into shape real quick. Trust me, real quick. Oh, and while I'm at it, don't smoke, don't drink, all right? Do you realize that there are 10 million people who have the virus now? Do you realize that's 3% of our population? You know what that means? That means this crap's in the air. And we're not doing anything to stop it. It's more than just distancing. For example, we're not putting, air purifiers in our buildings where we go. Like, our place is huge, okay? It's two of us. We're way out in the country. We've got great ventilation. The place is clean. Mom insists on it. Okay. So, all right. So, Dayquil, but keep yourself clean. And my point is, something's in the air with this stuff. And we still haven't been told, the complete truth. All right. Biden Harris, which gets to a video I'm going to present in a little bit. I think the Trump administration has a right to call for a recount, although I don't think the recount is going to lead to anything. And the reason I say that is because when Hillary lost, I thought, when I looked at Michigan and Wisconsin and Ohio, I thought, wait a minute, there's a fix there. Remember that, 2016? I wanted a recount. I was sure we were going to prevail, all that. I understand how they feel. So let them have that space to work that out. But what's going on already is they're in court, it's getting bounced. They're in another court that's getting bounced. They're in another court that's getting bounced. They're in another court that's getting bounced too. All that's getting bounced. At some point, they have to cut bait. That's my feeling on that. Now, I'll close with this. If you haven't done so before, subscribe to Zinni62 and bookmark oaklandnewsnow.com. And by the way, congratulations to Oakland at-large council member and friend Rebecca Kaplan, who won re-election. And I'll talk about that in a separate video. All right, see you all.